Hello everyone, my name is Arko and this is Master Mode. Now that looks pretty fast, doesn't it? How could you ever build up the skill to do that? Well, in this video, I'll show you what it takes. Tetris Effect Connected is an official Tetris game developed by Enhance. The name is a fun play on the phenomenon called Tetris Effect, where you can see pieces falling into place in your mind even hours after just playing the game for a bit. Naturally then, the game features tons of visual effects, as well as stunning backgrounds, heavenly music and great sounds, all reacting in sync to your gameplay. It's really cool, and I extremely recommend it to both hardcore Tetris fans, as well as people who have never played the genre. Part of the appeal are the game's effect modes, which feature a vast variety of challenges from all sorts of corners of the Tetris genre. From classic sprint and marathon modes, where you try to go as fast as possible or gain as much score as possible, through adventurous mystery and purify modes that present you with interesting board states, to the focus-oriented combo and target modes, testing fairly niche stacking skills. For your efforts in each mode, you receive a rank based on your performance, where SS is the highest. Getting the highest rank in all of these modes is a pinnacle of skill, and a fun challenge to build towards, as there is a lot to learn. Going through all of these has made me a much better player. There's even a speedrunning community based around getting all of the SS ranks in a row. I'll be putting the relevant links for that in the description if you're interested. But one of these modes stands out among the rest. Master Mode. Titled with a simple description: ridiculously fast Tetris, not for the faint of heart. As you enter this mode, you're blown away. The pieces fall to the bottom instantly. There's no hope, right? Well, that's not really true. This is modern Tetris, after all. I guess it's time to explain the difference. So, Tetris has changed quite a bit since 1989. This is classic Tetris as most people know it, released on the Nintendo Entertainment System. It is one of the most popular versions of the game, to this day loved by many and hosting huge tournaments such as the Classic Tetris World Championship. There are several differences between classic Tetris and the modern variants, which follow a strict guideline that is enforced on every licensed game by the Tetris company. To start, the handling is very different. Both the delayed auto shift, or DAS, which is the time it takes for the piece to start moving continuously in one direction when you hold down a button, and the auto repeat rate, which determines how quickly it moves the piece, are a lot slower in Classic. This makes the use of DAS very unreliable in Classic, and top players have moved away from it as there are faster methods of inputting movements manually. The random piece generation is also very different. Whereas in Classic it's pseudo-random, with only a small protection against getting the same piece twice in a row, you can't really guarantee you'll ever see any given piece, leading to so-called eyepiece droughts, where you don't see the long bar, or any other given tetramino, for long periods of time. This is solved in Guideline, where you have the 7-bag system, which shuffles all the 7 different pieces into a so-called bag, and sends each of those out one after another, meaning you're guaranteed to see any given tetramino in at most 13 drops. There is also no hold slot in Classic, so you can't store your pieces away for later, and the next queue shows only one upcoming tetramino. Another significant difference is the rotation system, which is very locked down in Classic, sometimes rendering you unable to rotate a piece if it's next to a wall. Modern Guideline Tetris overcompensates for this with the super rotation system, making it possible to do very unintuitive kicks, resulting in oddities like the well-known T-spin triples being possible. Most notably though, the biggest difference is in the locking system. In Classic, once the piece touches the ground and tries to apply gravity once again, it gets locked instantly. You have no room for error here. But in Modern, you have something called a lock delay. Once the piece reaches the bottom, a timer starts counting down before the piece is locked down and the next one spawns. If you move or rotate the piece, the timer resets again, meaning you can continue pushing it down or sometimes even up with the right kicks. You only have 15 moves to do this though, so once you use your last move, the piece immediately locks down. This is the crux of Master Mode. The speed setting no longer influences how quickly your piece falls, it changes how quickly it locks down. At the start, you have the usual 30-ish frames to move the piece, which makes for half an entire second. Plenty of time to adjust. On the first 10 levels, only the line clear delay changes. After that, the speed at which the piece is locked starts increasing slowly. Every 10 lines, the lock delay gets smaller by 20 to 40 milliseconds. You won't notice it at first, but eventually, around the M15 level, you get to really feel every increase. At the levels M15 to M20, you'll have to start getting familiar with good stacking practices, like creating this pyramid structure that ensures your piece can fall down further in either direction. If the wall is too high on either side, you won't get the piece where you want it to go. Levels M21 to M27 is where the true test of skill and patience lies. Most people start jittering here, which is a technique that allows you to gain more time to think by moving the piece left and right, less than 200 milliseconds at a time. Many players would call this a bad practice, as it takes away from your precious 15 moves you need in order to place the piece in the right spot. And sometimes it can backfire by locking in a very unfortunate position. You also have to be very consistent and hit the right timings to maximize your time, but you have to make sure to not run out of time either. Starting from M28, you kind of lose the ability to rotate twice in one singular spot. 120 milliseconds is not a lot of time, and unless your fingers are really fast, you have to make sure to input movements in between rotations in order to not lock the piece mid-spin, messing up your stack entirely. At level M29, your control of the pieces slips away almost completely. With 110 milliseconds, there is no room for error in both judgment and execution. I got to this level over 30 times, and a vast majority of the runs died here. But it's not the last level yet. If you somehow manage to survive clearing 10 lines here, 10 more await you on the next stage. M30. The biggest hurdle of Master Mode. The ultimate final level. The fastest it gets. Most people, when going to try the mode for the first time, might find it curious to see what the fastest speed looks like. Most people, including me, will then fail to clear even a single line and die a horrible death. In Tetris, this is the level that has kept me from seriously attempting this for years. Even in practice, it took me a very long time just to clear the required 10 lines from a clean board. Now imagine doing this after having spent the last 7 minutes masterfully placing pieces at high speeds. Your hands are starting to cramp up, and your head is spinning after just having passed M29. You have no time to rest at any point. And yeah, how can it be possible to place pieces this quickly? The time the M30 speed gives you for any given move is 91 milliseconds. That is less than 1/10 of a second. Less than the human reaction speed. You are literally not given any time to react. You have to think ahead, plan several pieces into the future, place them in your mind as you watch the color of the next cue shift in the corner of your eye. But once you mess up, and you will mess up at this speed, it's over. Your entire plan falls apart as you are unable to build what you've thought up in your mind and have to adjust on the fly, placing pieces in random spots and leaving holes in your stack everywhere. Alright, sure, this seems pretty hard. But just how hard is it? If only there was a way to quantify the difficulty of any given achievement in a game. Well, do I have just the thing for you? Are you a fan of difficult games? Do you want to compare yourself and your gaming abilities to others while still residing within a competitive yet fun and welcoming, non-toxic environment? Well, look no further than Challenge Enthusiasts! This community is fantastic. They have a lot of Steam games, and if there's a difficult game out there, it's probably on this site. Every developer-intended challenge is listed here, and awarded with points on each game, signifying how difficult it is or how many hours people have generally put into it. You then get to collect points if you've completed a given challenge, and compare them with others! Yay! It's still actively being worked on, so it might not have everything yet, but people can suggest adding a game or objective to the site. The games are separated to tiers based on how many CE points you can get on them, and Tetrified happens to be in the second highest tier, which only hosts 16 other games. It's certainly not the hardest game on the site, but there is something it does have. The objective for completing Master Mode awards 425 points, which is the 4th highest valued objective on the entire site. Now, this is quite a bit difficult to quantify, as there are harder things to be done in other games, and the points are distributed across multiple objectives, but this is among the highest singular achievements you can do in a Steam game. CE is honestly such an amazing community, and their enthusiasm and encouragement has single-handedly kept me going and pushing through this challenge. Thank you to everyone there for being great. But if that doesn't convince you, let's look at the stats. We can't say exactly, as there aren't too many data points on this, but I believe it's safe to say the game has sold over 1 million copies, perhaps 2 or 3. With the generous help of a community member named Rated F for Fun, who currently holds the world record for the largest score in Master Mode, massive respect, we have estimated the total of Master Mode clears to be 165. I think it's fair to say this is a pretty rare achievement. Only very few people can claim the title of the Tetris Master. So, with a better picture of the mode's difficulty, how do you beat this? Well, there is one method that has made all of this possible for me, that has aided me in my struggles, that allowed for all of this to actually happen. It's practice. It's literally just practice. And wow, did I do that quite a bit. I genuinely played for hours on end, grinding away at it every day, pushing just a little further every time, trying to start from higher speeds, seeing how far I can take it. But let's start from the beginning. I first got Tetrified in 2022, 3 years after I had started playing on various stacker sites. It was gifted to me by a close friend, Wayno717, also known as Ariel. I'm very thankful for that to this day, as they allowed me to venture into the wonderful journey that is this game. Since then, I've put hundreds of hours into the game, now totaling at nearly 400. Aside from leaderboard grinding, I've put a lot of time into speedrunning attempts as well, trying to get all the SS ranks in effect modes in a row. But in the past 4 months, it's definitely the most dedicated I've been. Over 100 hours spent, I've risen from a 200 line PB to a 250, then 260, then 270. I was getting large jumps in personal bests left and right, and it felt like I was unstoppable. However, a long time went by and no progress happened. Suddenly I was stuck. M28 was a huge barrier. Eventually, after 2 weeks had passed, I did manage to get another PB by a single line. I had heard from my friend Yesend, who inspired me to do this in the first place, that the ending of this mode is the worst part. But I didn't know it would be this bad, so I left it to rest. I had other things to do, and I wanted to spend my summer break outside too. This would be too much of a commitment. But, after a week of not playing, I wanted to go for another run. Just to see. And I got another jump. 7 lines deeper, I finally started to gain hope again, as later that day I even managed to get my first 10 lines on M30. This was the first time it felt like I could maybe actually do this. And yet, nothing happened for a long time again. 1 week goes by, then 2. It starts feeling quite hopeless. 3 weeks now. Only then do I get my second ever 10 lines at the fastest speed. Progress is slow. A couple days later, I managed to get another jump, finally breaking through to M29. Then another 7 days pass, and I get to M29 once again. And again. And again for a third time. Okay, time to start actually practicing the speed properly. Next day, I get to M29 once more. And then again, the next day. The day after, I got to M29. And then, well, you get the point. Every day I played was a day I got to M29. This felt real. Finally, it looked like I was getting close. Then, finally, at the start of September, while my best was still 287 lines, I got my first M30 run. There we go. Yes! 297! Oh my god! What the hell? What? That's plus 10! Oh my god, that's so close! What? Victory was on the horizon. I decided to push myself further. By this point, I had reached M29 15 total times, spanning over an entire month. On the next day, I reached M29 16 times, just on that one day. I was determined, and I didn't want to stop there. I kept, metaphorically, bashing my head against the wall, hoping that just one run would finally stick. And then, this happened. No! What? No! No! Oh my god, it actually happened. It actually happened. I feared this. I knew this was gonna happen. Oh my god, no. It was so close. One line away. Oh. My heart is beating so fast right now. This was devastating. I knew my luck in games was bad. I've died at 98% in so many Geometry Dash levels, including Black Blizzard twice. But this was of a different magnitude. I got to M29 a bunch more, but nothing to replicate what I had just done there. I spent a lot of time rewatching my run that day, but it only really clicked the day after. There is actually a method to the madness. There is one thing that set this run apart. The stack was exceptionally clean going into M29 and M30. I just had to keep low. No score chasing in the later stages, no fancy spins, no showing off. I know that may seem obvious, but well, I got bored playing this mode, alright? I wanted for it to be a bit more fun. But the mission was clear. Keep the stack clean. And yeah, that's the secret sauce. On the 4th of September 2025, the very next day, I got to M29, died, I got to M30, died again, but then, 2 runs later, well, that's what you came here for, isn't it? Enjoy the show. God damn it. What a good setup. It wouldn't have been a triple anyway, I don't think, but... you know, it would have looked cool. Still pretty decent start. A lot of singles. What are they doing in my area? Oh. Right, yeah. Missed opportunity, how sad. Yeah, never mind, whatever. Spent too long thinking about what I could make of that. Wonder if all this grinding and score getting will have any impact on my VS abilities. Because making creative T-spins in versus mode is kind of essential, I think. Yeah, alright, let's clean this up a bit, and then we can safely transition. Clean up our workspace, allow a little room for breathing. Oh, nice. That certainly helps the score department. I don't know how many points you get for that, but it's a decent amount. Okay, let's do the last Tetris and then just keep it decent. Nothing crazy. Well, okay, it's fine. I appear to have salvaged the situation. There's so many holes at the bottom, this is not good. I need to open up the bottom. I can't get there anymore. Okay, we'll need to be safe here. Oh my god. Oh my god, yes! I did it! I actually did it! Master mode cleared! I can't believe it! Oh my god! Finally! Oh my god! Yes! This took so long! That's the hardest thing I've ever done. Oh my god. This is so difficult. I actually beat it. I can't believe it. Wow. Okay. I almost beat my score too. It's a shame that this isn't my... It's a shame this isn't my high score. Ah, I forgot to take a Steam screenshot. Okay, I can do this, I guess. Oh my god, I actually did it. Yes. All the hard work paid off. How many hours do I have on this game now? 392. Sub 400 hours. But obviously I do have like 200 hours on Tetrio and, you know, another like 30 hours on Tetris. And I've played just a lot of Tetris in general. This is not indicative of anything. Oh. Finally. Yes. Okay, let's look at the rankings. Where did I end up? I'm obviously not in here. Yeah, these are the 301s. 58! Okay. Nice. Yeah, these are large gaps. I didn't even reach this score ever, so... Yeah, this is my place. Yeah, let me see... Hey, okay, I'm first on my friend's leaderboard. Okay, very cool. So yeah, I'm actually the first person to do this in Czechia, and so yeah, super happy about that. Oh my god. Wow. I don't know what to say. I will have many words in the description. But for now, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much for the support, for the people that have cheered me on throughout this journey. Everyone in the Czechoslovakian Tetris community, everyone in the challenge enthusiasts community, Yes, and Zurich, Ferox from the Enhance Tetris community, Azatoth, and my friends in real life. You have all been a great support, so thank you. I really do appreciate it. Okay, this is the hardest thing that I will, my best achievement that I will have done for a very long time. Goodbye, everyone. I will go take a well-deserved break from Tetris. But I'll come back. This is not the end of the journey for me.